Now we'll take a look at the warrior postures, beginning with Warrior One. Warrior One is a strong standing posture typically practiced early on in class. It is a great pose to embody standing strength and readiness. When practiced regularly, it is a great leg strengthener and hip opener. The warrior postures can present an opportunity to find our center even in the midst of a challenge. Begin by coming into a strong lunge in your front leg, with a sturdy distance from front to back foot. You can try a front heel to back heel alignment, then go wider left to right as needed for stability. Keep your front shin vertical or close to vertical. Choose the depth of lunge that works in your body. Your back foot can be somewhere around a 45-degree angle. A little less or more is fine to accommodate your unique structure. You will feel the unevenness of your hips. No need to force squaring forward here. Maintain a neutral spine, paying special attention to keeping your low back spacious. A slight lift of the pit of your belly will help with this. Gently square your chest and ribs forward, inviting a nice front hip stretch on the back leg side. Keep your arms lifted and reaching. There is a natural line of action from the feet to the hands in this pose. As you stand strong through your feet, actively reach up and away with your hands. Your gaze point should be straight ahead and slightly lifted. Now I will go over some reasons that you might need modification options and how to approach the pose if so. If you are experiencing instability, play with taking your feet wider, left to right, or taking a shorter stance, front to back, or change the angle of your back foot. If you have any low back pain or sacroiliac joint instability, you might want to avoid the torque that can come from the anchoring of the back heel. You could simply unanchor your back heel and do crescent lunge instead. If you are limited in your shoulder range of motion, feel free to change your arm position to what feels more comfortable. Keep in mind that we do lots of postures with arms lifted. So if you ever feel like your heart rate is getting too high or you've lost the connection with your victorious breath, simply lower your arms or take hands to prayer position. Now for Warrior Two. Warrior Two is another strong standing posture that invites the embodiment of expansion and connection with the world around you. It provides strengthening for the entire body as well as an opening for the hips, low belly, and chest. Begin by taking a long yet sturdy stance from front to back. Choose a level of lunge in your front leg that works for you, keeping your front shin close to vertical. Look at your front toes and keep them as close to straightforward as possible. Your back foot can be parallel to the back edge of your mat or with toes slightly angled forward. Your front hips, low belly, and chest will all be open to the side wall. You can keep your back leg in a strong neutral position. Reach your arms long and strong from front to back. Awaken a vertical line of action from the ground up through your crown as well as from hand to hand. Your gaze point can be at your front middle fingernail or some point beyond. Keep in mind that our bodies are all unique, beginning at our skeletal structure, so you might need slightly different angles in feet and legs. This is where yoga requires your keen awareness of how the posture is working in your body. Always go for stability first, then adjust accordingly. Approach all postures with a willingness to remain curious. If you feel challenged to the point of losing your breath control, simply take your hands to prayer position and take less of a lunge and a shorter stance front to back. If you feel unstable or limited in your hip range of motion, again, you may just need to change the angles of your feet and or legs. Now for side angle. Side angle is simply a variation of Warrior Two, which offers a different perspective, added core strengthening, and a side body stretch. Let's begin from Warrior Two. Lower your front forearm to your thigh. Stay engaged in your legs and core so that weight is not actually resting onto your front thigh. Maintain space between your lower ribs and thigh and keep a sense of elongation on your underside ribs. Reach your opposite hand straight up out of your shoulder. Use this reach to also keep the bottom shoulder spacious rather than collapsing down into it. Stay strongly engaged in both legs, maintaining a lunge in the front leg and an active push through your back heel. Your back foot angle will be similar to Warrior 2, parallel to back edge of mat or toes slightly angled forward. As much as possible, keep your front hip anchored under the center line of your body rather than jutting your hip back behind you. Keep your chest open to the side wall rather than facing towards the floor. Your gaze point can be up to your lifted thumb or beyond. If you have limited range of motion in your top shoulder, simply choose a different arm position. An option is to wrap your top arm behind your lower back, or simply keep your arm at your side. If you feel limited in strength overall, try not going so low with your front arm and/or take a shorter stance front to back. Just as I mentioned earlier with Warrior 2, you may need a slightly different placement in feet and your legs to accommodate your unique structure.